Okay, so now we're ready for the next part of the class. You are either finishing up the 5 modules or you have finished them. And now you need to know how to get into the next part of the class. Once you log in, like you typically do, there'll be a new selection for you to choose from. You scroll down a little bit, go under where it says My Courses. You have been using a selection called IT Core, and now there'll be a new one called Web Development. Okay. Now you can access it here, or you have a drop down area up here where you could go to and get to it either way. All right. So Web Development, click there. And once you're in there, it looks pretty much the same. Okay. There's the logo for the class. Now, what I wanted to show you is where is all the information for the rest of the class? It's under Content. So I'm going to click on Content. You'll see things you should read through when you get a chance. Take your time, browse through. Where it says Web Development Section 1, you've already done that. That was in the other part of the class. It's listed here just, to acknowledge it, but there's nothing there to do. Go to Web Development Section 2, and that's where we're going to start. Your first book is going to be the Design Collection Revealed Photoshop, Illustrator, and Design. Okay. Your next book will be the Photoshop Revealed. You can see the books here listed. What do you do with them? How do I start? Here's what you do. Click on the first book. You'll see all the information. Here's a picture of the cover of the book. All the information you need to get started. The book you bought should have come with this little blue and white card. There's an access code right here. That's what you're going to need. Now, if it asks you an ISBN number, it's right up here. Right? So there's a couple of places for information. Okay, so how do I go? Well, this kind of explains it as you get to different things. You could read through that. But let me show you quickly what we're going to do. Click here on Cengage Data Files link. This will take you to the website to set up your Cengage account for the book you're interested in. I'm showing you the one for Photoshop. That's the one I've established already. The book you're going to be doing could be Photoshop. It could be the Design Collection. Most likely it's Design Collection. It all works the same way. Click here. Once you're here, you'll know you're on the page. You'll see this little whatever it is. Scroll up a little bit, and here's all the information you need. You'll be entering your information to register your account right here. That access code that was on the blue and white card goes right in here. You'll click, type it in, and then hit register, and they'll ask you your email and that sort of thing. When you come back later to work on your lessons again, then you'll be able to use this side. Now, the other thing you can do, you can set up a link once you've established the account, a link to Cengage, and you can go through it that way too. So it's however you want to get to it. I have a link set up. I'm just going to click on that. And there it is. Okay, so I'm going to type in my information. Sign in. Okay, now once again, this happens to be the Photoshop book that you'll be doing, which is your second book, but all the books work the same, so it doesn't matter which book we really do. Okay, so once you're in here, for whatever book, come down here where it says Access Information. Now mine says Instructor. Yours will say a little something else, but you're looking for the course mate information. So click on that. And let's see. Okay, here we go. All right, so here's the information. Whatever the name of the textbook you're working with will be right up here at the top. Your chapter, it starts with chapter 1. You can come in here, say if you're whatever chapter you want, you can click on the right and go to the chapter, or you can click where it says chapter list, and you can choose a chapter here. Of course, you're going to want to do them in order, but once you've done one, it's easier to get to it there. What do you want to do here? You really want to look through all this information. But what do you really need to do to turn a lesson in? Okay, here's what you want to do. You'll want to read through the CC chapter updates if you're using the cloud version of the software. Okay, that's just going to be helpful for you. You'll want to watch the author video. and just get an overview from somebody talking. You can click there. You see in a few moments the video comes up. You can click on it to listen to what she has to say. If you want to fill up your screen, you can click on the button right here. The other videos that you want to watch are total training videos. Those are down here. And there are 3 for this particular lesson. And you can click, watch it. You can click here once again to expand it to full screen. You probably already know that. Okay, beyond that, what do you want to do? Once you've worked through the chapter in the book and you've made screenshots of the end of each lesson, then you want, and you're ready to turn that in, make sure along the way you take the interactive quiz. So you would click right here for the interactive quiz. And then when you're ready to start the quiz, you would click start. Okay. Now, I mentioned working through the book. Well, how does that work? Go right here. Here are your data files. Okay. So click that. Here's the data files for this first chapter. I will click here, and then they actually download. Now, I'm using Chrome as my browser. A lot of school websites work better with Chrome. That's what I happen to be using. But I've downloaded that. I'll open the files. So for instance, if I click here, okay, there are the files I'm going to need as I work through the book. So I'm going to go ahead. I can put these on my desktop, wherever I want to put those, you know. So I'm going to come here. I'm just going to hide this for a moment, and maybe I'll just drag these over. You know how your system works and what's going to work best for you. I'm just going to drag them off the download area. Now, I could go ahead and call this chapter 1, could create a new folder. You know, however you want to do it, just as long as you can find your file. So there we go. I've got it there. I could name it something else, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to go back in here. Now, those are the files that you want to work through the book in. Now, you have a book probably that you receive. Now, you can purchase all this without the book, but I think it's like $3 or $4 or $5 more just to get the book. It's so helpful to have the book. But if, however you want to do it, here is a copy of the book. I'm going to click here. So this will take me in time to the book, access the book. Okay, so I'd advise reading through the first part of the book. Here is chapter 1 of this particular book. This is for Photoshop. It will work the same way for your design collection. Start reading through things. You can click over here, little book icon, and you can see here's the front cover of the book that I'm looking at this point. Here's copyright information. Keeps going. You know, here's, you know, if you want to read all this information. Series vision, not a bad idea to kind of look through some of this to get an idea of how the book works. I know when I'm getting a new book, often I'm in a hurry and I don't want to read all this, but, you know, kind of get you going. Maybe on this book, your first book, kind of gives you a general idea of what's going on, okay? Here's the chapters. So if I want to get started with chapter 1, now usually chapter 1 of a textbook in this class, sometimes there's a lot of real things you're going to do, and sometimes you're just moving around a page.